The courtroom was silent, heavy with anticipation, as if the very air was holding its breath. Every eye focused on the man who sat at the defense table, Marcus Whitmore, billionaire, untouchable. His reputation preceded him, casting a long shadow over the proceedings. His laughter rang out, sharp and cold, bouncing off the walls and slicing through the tension like a knife. The judge's gavel threatened order, but the room felt frozen in that moment, suspended between outrage and disbelief. Here, power had a voice, and it was mocking, daring anyone to challenge it. Reporters scribbled furiously, their pens scratching the tension into paper, capturing every detail for tomorrow's headlines. The public had come to see a spectacle, drawn by the promise of drama and the fall of giants. Marcus's lawyers wore smug smiles. They were ready to sweep away any accusation with legal jargon and polished shoes, confident in their client's invincibility. At the witness stand, Sofia Ramirez sat, small, still. Yet, there was a quiet strength in her posture. Her hands twisted nervously in her lap, but her eyes did not drop. She met Marcus's gaze, unflinching. The court waited for her to speak, but Marcus's laughter lingered, like a challenge echoing in the silence. Outside, the city buzzed, oblivious to the drama unfolding, but inside, time seemed to have paused. Something was about to change. The air was thick with anticipation, every heartbeat loud in the hush, and in that pause, a truth waited, brewing, gathering strength, ready to shatter the silence and alter everything. The prosecution presented its evidence. Security footage. A flat, grainy image flickered on the screen. There was Sofia, entering the study. The timestamp matched the moment the cufflink disappeared. Murmurs swept through the courtroom. Marcus leaned back, satisfied. Sofia's attorney objected. The footage was incomplete, cut off right as Sofia left the room. "Where is the rest?" the judge demanded. Marcus's team shrugged. No answer. The judge pressed for clarity, but the footage remained broken, the gap unexplained. A hush fell. The truth felt just out of reach, visible, but not graspable. The jury watched Sofia closely, searching for a sign of guilt or innocence. Tension tightened across the room. Then, with a calm that surprised everyone, Sofia asked to speak. Her voice was quiet, but her words promised something more. The court leaned in, waiting for what she would reveal. Sofia cleared her throat. The courtroom seemed to shrink around her, every eye fixed on her as she prepared to speak. She looked at Marcus, not with fear, but with resolve. "I know what happened," she began, her voice steady despite the tension, "but I need to tell it my way." The judge nodded, granting her the space to continue. Marcus smirked, but his fingers drummed the table, betraying his nerves. Sofia described her routine in detail, how every night she cleaned the study, arranged the papers, and dusted the shelves, making sure everything was in its proper place. She recalled the night in question. "I saw the cufflink on the desk," she said, her memory vivid and precise. "I left it there." She paused, holding the room in her silence, letting the weight of her words settle. Then, she mentioned hearing voices after she left, voices she recognized, echoing down the hallway. Someone else had entered after her. She named Marcus's business partner, Mr. Lowell, and a security guard, both present in the courtroom. Gasps rippled through the rows. Marcus's face hardened, his confidence shaken by her revelation. His laughter was gone. Sofia's story did not match the simple narrative everyone expected. It was far more complicated. Her words hung in the air, heavy with implication. The court was no longer so sure. The balance had shifted, and nothing would be the same. The defense tried to dismiss Sofia's claim, but then her attorney produced something unexpected, a small audio recorder. Sofia had kept it with her, a habit from her cleaning shifts, listening to music as she worked. On that night, it had accidentally recorded everything. She played the recording. The court listened. There was the sound of Sophia humming, the click of the door as she left. Then, after 7 minutes of silence, came the voices, Lowell's, the security guards, and finally, Marcus's own voice. The missing 7 minutes were filled. The voices argued about the cufflink, laughing about planting evidence and mocking how easily people could be fooled. Marcus's laughter this time was on tape, not triumphant, but incriminating. Shock swept the courtroom. Marcus's power, so absolute only minutes before, now seemed hollow. The truth had broken through. The judge's gavel struck, sharp and final. The evidence was undeniable. Marcus and his accomplices were ordered to stand trial for perjury, tampering, and conspiracy. The crowd erupted, not with laughter, but with relief. Justice, often denied, had found a voice in the unlikeliest place. Sophia sat still. Tears rimmed her eyes, but her gaze was steady. The weight of years spent silent had lifted, replaced by a new strength. Reporters rushed to record her story. For once, the spotlight found not the powerful, but the brave. Marcus was led away, his head bowed. The world saw that power can crumble, sometimes in an instant, sometimes by the smallest voice. The court had watched a contest, but witnessed a transformation. In the end, truth had spoken, and the world, for a moment, listened. The courtroom emptied, but the story lingered in the air, echoing in the quiet halls long after everyone had gone. People talked about Sophia's courage, sharing their thoughts in hushed voices, moved by what she had done. They wondered how many truths remained hidden, waiting for someone to speak them aloud, and how many stories were still untold. The city buzzed with new respect for the power of one honest voice, and a sense of possibility filled the air. Sophia returned home that night, tired but free, her steps lighter than they had been in weeks. Her family hugged her tight, pride and relief mingling in their tears as they welcomed her back. Outside, the world felt changed, even if only slightly, as if hope had quietly taken root. The echo of her truth traveled farther than she could have imagined, touching lives she would never meet. In every corner of the city, whispers of her story inspired others to consider their own voices. People remembered that silence is not always safety, and sometimes it takes more strength to speak, and that sometimes the smallest voice can carry the greatest weight, changing the course of many lives. As the story faded into memory, one phrase lingered, spoken by Sophia as she left the courthouse that evening. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision that truth is worth the risk, no matter the cost.
What's something people don't know about stories? They never truly end. There's always a new adventure waiting for you. Just pick your next tale and I'll meet you there. Subscribe to the Story Circle and let me know which story I should tell next in the comments.